Today on Vegan 604, you're in for a special treat because we're going to be making an incredible barbecue meatloaf. And being plant-based, we're always trying to find a celebration of flavors to make everything just sing absolutely together and also help recreate some of the favorites from the past that we may have had in a past life when we ate different things than we do today. Today's meatloaf is easily going to become one of your absolute favorites because we're going to include some of your favorite things in this recipe. Things like sweet potato, portobellos, we're gonna include walnuts, and we're gonna include chickpeas. This means it's gonna be really high protein, it's gonna have a ton of healthy fats in it, but who cares about all that stuff when it tastes so good? This flavor-packed dish is ready and on the table in about 90 minutes, so it's more of a Sunday type thing. And of course, you can always make 2 batches, so you can easily freeze one and save it for another evening. We're gonna have the full recipe below in the description, where you're also gonna find the recipe for our very special barbecue sauce that we're gonna be putting on this dish at the end. Now, I'm really hoping this is gonna become one of your family's favorites and a staple on your weekly routine. So if you do enjoy this recipe, so of course, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of the recipes we're releasing on a regular basis, as well as if you think someone that could use a great recipe like this in their weekly rotation, be sure to share it with them so they can enjoy it as well. With that being said, let's get started right now.
Today, we're making one of my all-time favorites, a plant-based barbecued meatloaf. It's hearty, smoky, and packed with flavor bombs. And the best part, you probably have most of these ingredients sitting in your pantry. I did pre-steam my sweet potatoes for this recipe just to help make it move a little bit quicker during a Sunday night dinner prep, but you can certainly get these ready as you get started. Oh, and to keep things classy, I'm sipping on Down Easy by Hoyne Brewing out of Victoria, one of my absolute favorites in British Columbia and favorites in general. You're going to want to check them out if you haven't already. All right, let's get cooking. First, we're going to preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit so it's ready for when we need it. And we're also going to get our pan on the stove, make sure it's nice and hot. And then first up, the mushrooms. Grab your portobello mushrooms. Don't worry about chopping them perfectly. We're going to blitz them in a handheld food processor anyways. What we want is a nice mince-like texture. It's the perfect hearty base for our loaf. Once they're done, let's clean up the board and move on to our gorgeous bright red bell pepper. Tip for the pepper, I like to cut along the stem, open it up like a book, and remove the white bits. Dice those pieces up into small, even chunks. We're aiming for consistency here. With my trusty bench scraper, I'll get those into the bowl and clean up the cutting board for our onion. Now that it's time for our onion, if you've never diced one before, here's the magic. A few horizontal cuts, a few vertical ones, kind of shoestring-like, and finally chop straight down. Boom, perfect little onion cubes. Into the bowl they go. By now, our pan should be pretty hot, and maybe a little too hot in my case. It's smoking already. Let's turn that down a bit and add a good glug of olive oil. Mushrooms go in first, and we'll give them a good stir to release their water and let them start browning. About 5 minutes here should do the trick. While the mushrooms are doing their thing, now for the garlic, my favorite. 3 cloves is what I'm using today because garlic is life. You can press it, mince it, or smash it, whatever gets you to garlic heaven faster. Let's admire how beautiful our lineup is. Red bell pepper, onions, garlic are all ready to join the party. When the mushrooms have cooked down, in go the onions and the bell pepper. Stir it up and let those flavors dance together for another 5 to maybe 10 minutes. And a little tip here, you're going to add a pinch of salt and pepper here, but remember we are going to taste later to make sure our flavors are all coming together perfectly. At this point, mix together and let the garlic cook down for a minute or two. We are building layers of flavor here, friends. Next, let's drain our chickpeas. And quick pro tip, don't toss that aquafaba. Freeze it into cubes for later on. It is absolute gold for vegan cooking and does so much. While the chickpeas drain, we're going to zest 1 lemon, a bright little boost of acidity that makes all the difference. Then we're bringing in the sweet potatoes, which we've pre-steamed to mashable softness. The sweet potatoes go into the pan first, just to warm them up a bit. Next, add the panko breadcrumbs. I'm using a mix of whole wheat and white today, along with our finely crushed walnuts and that beautiful lemon zest. Oh, wait, hold on here. I almost forgot the chickpeas. Into the pan they go. Give everything a good stir to incorporate it. It's starting to look like the ultimate veggie medley here. Now grab your trusty potato masher and gently break it all down. We're looking for a mix that's lumpy but holds together. No big chunks of sweet potato or chickpeas left. Taste check. Well, salt and pepper, we don't want to skimp here. Seasoning is absolutely everything. And once it's perfect, spoon the mixture into your parchment-lined loaf tin. Press it down firmly to avoid gaps or air pockets. We want this to hold its shape beautifully. Now into the oven it goes. Place it on the bottom rack at 350 degrees and let it roast for about 40 minutes, which is a perfect amount of time to talk about our barbecue sauce and get it ready. This barbecue sauce, it's not just any sauce. This is a Texas style, smoky, sweet, and spicy perfection type sauce. Here's the lineup. We're going to add about a half cup of ketchup. I accidentally put in too little, so we'll give it a little bit of a squeeze. Next comes our tomato paste, followed by a half cup of apple cider vinegar, a quarter cup of prepared yellow mustard, and a quarter cup of vegan Worcestershire sauce. We're going to add 1 tablespoon of granulated onion, followed by 1 tablespoon of granulated garlic, 1 tablespoon of sriracha style hot sauce, 1 tablespoon of kosher salt, and to give it that nice smoky flavor that we're looking for, 2 teaspoons of any liquid smoke, any flavor will do that you have in the fridge. And of course, 1 teaspoon of black pepper. If you have coarse black pepper, that's even better, and the Telecherry style black pepper works great in this recipe. We're gonna get this on the stove and give it a little bit of a whisk to get it together, and then we're gonna add our final 2 ingredients. We've got 1/3 cup of agave. Depending on your dietary choice preferences, you could also use honey here, but we are using agave, and then 1 cup of sugar, which I know feels like a lot, but folks, this is barbecue sauce. We want to make sure it tastes awesome, and this freezes great or will keep in the fridge for up to 1 week in an airtight container. Stir it all together in the saucepan and bring it to a gentle boil. Once it's boiling, we're going to reduce the heat and let it simmer, stirring it occasionally for about 30 minutes. It's going to get thick, sticky, and absolutely gorgeous. All right, the final touches. After about 40 minutes, our meatloaf is going to come out of the oven and it already looks like a winner. We're going to carefully flip it onto a baking sheet, peeling off the parchment paper, and let's just take a moment to absolutely admire it. Now, grab that barbecue sauce and slather it on. Don't hold back. This sauce deserves center stage. Cover the top, the sides, the works. Then back into the oven it goes for another 10 to 15 minutes to caramelize into sticky, smoky perfection. After our time is up, there it is, the plant-based barbecue meatloaf of your dreams. The texture, spot on. The barbecue sauce, caramelized just right. I served mine with simple steamed potatoes, golden and buttery with just a touch of salt and pepper, and a crisp green salad with a light oil-based dressing, simple sides that let the loaf shine. The first bite, divine. It's smoky, hearty, and tastes like pure nostalgia. And bonus, it's even better the next day, especially in a sandwich. Oh, and if you're nut-free, swap the walnuts for pumpkin seeds. It's an easy fix and still tastes great. If you love this recipe, and trust me, you will, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more plant-based comfort food, and stick around for the next video. It's another one of my favorites. We worked really hard on this dish, and you're not gonna want to miss it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this one. Happy cooking, friends, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheers.